Chapter 7, Skin, Structure, Growth, and Nutrition. Number 1, a physician who specializes in diseases and disorders of the skin, hair, and nails is blank. Is it a histologist? B, a dermatologist? C, esthetician? D, a pediatrician? And your correct answer is B, a dermatologist. 2, healthy skin has blank texture and is smooth. Is it A, fine-grained, B, A, dry, C, A, rough, or D, an inflexible? And the correct answer is A, a fine-grained. 3, the advantages of the skin includes hair, nails, and superficies and blank glands. Is it A, sebaceous, B, endocrine, C, adrenal, or D, exocrine? And your correct answer is A, sebaceous. 4, which of the following correctly identifies the layers of skin and the fat from outermost layer to the innermost layer? Is it A, dermis, subcutaneous epidermis, B, epidermis, subcutaneous dermis, C, dermis, epidermis, or subcutaneous, or D, epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous? And your correct answer is D, epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous. Number 5, as cells die, they are pushed to the surface to replace dead cells that are shed from the blank. A, stratum corneum, B, stratum luteum, C, stratum germinative, or D, stratum granulosum? And your correct answer is A, stratum corneum. 6, the layer directly beneath the epidermis is the blank. Is it A, reticular layer, B, stratum spinosum, C, papillary layer, or D, subcutaneous tissue? And your correct answer is C, papillary layer. 7, which type of tissue gives smoothness and contour to the body, contains fats for use as energy, and also acts as a protective cushion for the skin? Is it A, subcutaneous tissue, B, cardiac tissue, C, muscular tissue, or D, nerve tissue? And your correct answer is A, subcutaneous tissue. Number 8, which nerve fibers are distributed to the arrector pili muscles attached to the hair follicles? Is it A, impulse nerve fibers, B, sensory nerve fibers, C, secretory nerve fiber, or D, motor nerve fiber? And your correct answer is D, motor nerve fibers. Number 9, nerves that regulate excretion of perspiration from the superficious glands and control the flow of sebum to the surface of the skin are blank. Is it A, motor nerve fibers, B, sensory nerve fibers, C, secretory nerve fibers, or D, impulse nerve fibers? And your correct answer is C, secretory nerve fibers. 10. Blank fibers react to heat, cold, touch, pressure, and pain. Is it A, motor nerve, B, sensory nerves, C, secretory nerves, or D, complex nerves? And your correct answer is B, sensory nerves. 11. The amount and type of pigment produced in an individual is determined by his or her blank. A, genes, B, gender, C, sun exposure, or D, age? And your correct answer is A, genes. 12. Skin gets its strength, form, and flexibility from blank. Is it A, collagen and keratin, B, sebum and melanin, C, keratin and elastin, or D, collagen and elastin? And your correct answer is D, collagen and elastin. 13. The supercilious glands, excretion, perspiration, detoxify the body and blank. Is it A, preserve the softness of the hair, B, lubricate the skin, C, produce collagen, or D, regulate body temperature? And your correct answer is D, it regulates body temperature. 14. To keep your body healthy, you must be sure that what you eat helps you to blank. A, prevent hydration, B, cause fatigue, C, delay the rate of aging, D, regulate the overall function of your cells. And the correct answer is D, regulate the overall function of your cells. 15. Which vitamin aids in and accelerate the skin's healing process and is virtually important in fighting the aging process? Is it A, vitamin A, B, vitamin C, C, vitamin D, or D, vitamin E? And the correct answer is B, vitamin C. 16. The epidermis is the blank layer of the skin. Is it A, healthiest, B, thickest, C, thinnest, or D, most important? And your correct answer is C, thinnest. 17. The scalp has larger and deeper blank than the skin on the rest of the body. Is it A, melanocytes, B, propylbacterium acnes, C, sensory nerve fibers, or D, hair follicles? And your correct answer is D, hair follicles. 18. During excretion, perspiration from the blank glands is excreted through the skin. Is it A, subterraneous, B, sebaceous, C, reticular, or D, papillary? And your correct answer is A, supertracheous. 19. One of the best ways to follow a healthy diet is to read blank. A, magazine articles, B, food labels, C, diet books, or D, legal guidelines? And your correct answer is B, food labels. 20. Emotional stress and hormone imbalances can increase the blank flow of the blank. Is it A, sebum, B, spinal fluid, C, lymph, or D, pus? And the correct answer is A, sebum. 21. The nutrient needed for energy to run every function within the body is blank. Is it A, vitamins, B, proteins, C, carbohydrates, or D, fats? And the correct answer is C, carbohydrates. 22. The USDA recommends that people eat blank. A, 0 salt and 0 sugar. B, large amounts of salt and sugar. C, moderate amounts of salt and sugar. Or D, moderate amounts of salt and no sugar? And your correct answer is C, moderate amounts of salt and sugar. 23. Vitamins are considered blank. Nutritionist requirements, B, nutritionist supplements, C, cosmetic ingredients, or D, prescription medications? And your correct answer is B, nutritionist supplements. 24. Water makes up blank percentage of the body's weight and is necessary for virtually every function of the cells and body. Is it A, 10 to 20, B, 20 to 30, C, 30 to 50, or D, 50 to 70? And your correct answer is D, 50 to 70. 25. Lack of water is the principal cause of blank. A, daytime fatigue, B, daytime hunger, C, daytime mood swings, or D, daytime memory loss? And your correct answer is A, daytime fatigue. 26. Small cone-shaped elevations at the base of the hair follicles are blank. Melanocytes, B, papules, C, dermal papillae, or D, secretory cords? And your correct answer is C, dermal papillary. 27. The layer of the epidermis where the process of the skin cells shedding begins in the blank. The stratum corneum, the stratum luteum, C, the stratum germatium, or D, the stratum spinosum. And the correct answer is D, the stratum spinosum. 28. Core base of the sebaceous gland is known as the blank. A, secretory coil, B, sweat duct, C, sebaceous gland, or D, elastin coil. And the correct answer is A, secretory coil. 29. A small elevation on the skin that contains no fluid but may develop pus is a blank. Is it comedule, B, papule, C, callus, D, pustule. And the correct answer is B, papule. 30. Fatty tissues found below the dermis is the blank tissue. Is it A, secretory, B, superficious, C, subcutaneous, or D, sensory? And your correct answer is C, subcutaneous. 31. A raised inflamed papilla with a white or yellow center containing pus in the top of the lesion is a blank. Is it A, papillary, B, pustule, C, callus, or D, conidome? And your correct answer is B, pustule. 32. The outer layer of the epidermis is the blank layer. Is it A, the stratum corneum, B, the stratum glandulosum, C, stratum luteum, or D, stratum germinative? And your correct answer is A, stratum corneum. 33. The clear transparent layer of the epidermis underneath the stratum corneum is the blank. Is it A, stratum spinosum, B, the stratum glandulosum, C, the stratum germinativum, or D, the stratum luteum? And the correct answer is D, the stratum luteum. 34. A fatty or oily secretion that lubricates the skin and preserves the softness of the skin is blank. A, sebum, B, lip, C, pus, or D, melanin? And your correct answer is A, sebum. 35. The layer of the epidermis, also known as the basal cell layer, is the blank. Is it the A, stratum luteum, B, stratum spinosum, C, stratum corneum, or D, stratum germinative? And your correct answer is D, stratum germinative, and that is the end of chapter 7.